Plaintiff Robert Dreyfus has a child with the defendant, and he claims once a DNA test confirmed that he was the father, he started fighting for custody. Robert says he got the courts and child services involved because the defendant was neglecting to give their daughter her medicine, and he's suing his ex today for attorney fees. Defendant Felicia Stalder says the only reason Robert ever started fighting for custody was so he could avoid paying child support. Felicia claims she's been thoroughly investigated by child services, and there was no medical neglect found on her part. So she's countersuing for defamation of character.
All rise. This court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Greg Mathis presiding. You may now be seated.
Start with you.
Felicia and I met at the end of 2009. We moved in right away, and she got pregnant quickly.
Right away as in 1 day, 2 days, 1 week, 1 month?
Yeah, around a week.
Okay.
And she got pregnant quickly. I found out that she was cheating on me through Facebook messages between her and another guy.
How long after moving in with her did you find that out?
Around
Quickly.
4 months.
Quickly? Everything went quick.
No, that's not.
Met her and
That's not
moved in
true.
quick. Pregnancy quick. Cheating quick.
Yep.
What month in?
We're about 5 months in.
5 months in.
And I asked her for a paternity test. I told her that I would forgive her. I just like a paternity test. She didn't want to do one. She asked me, why don't you trust me? And I told her, for obvious reasons, because she was cheating on me. And a month before the baby was born, she ended up leaving me. And then shortly after, went somewhere to Northern California and got married to someone else. And then, and that was from her own declaration through a court
That's all
that we
false. That's all false.
and then after that, she called me a year later and said, why do I create a whirlwind everywhere I go, and how hard her life is. Told me that she was going to be coming back to Southern California, at which point I went for a paternity test and found out that I'm the father. At that point, I was given 2 hours a day, 2 days a week, custody. And every time Ella came, she was sick. So I asked Felicia to please take her to the doctor to make sure
Your child?
Yes, to get her
What
better.
type of sickness?
Bronchitis.
Okay.
And Felicia failed to do so. So I then notified her mom, grandma, asked her to do it. And when she failed to do so, I then filed with the courts and asked them to do it.
Those statements are false.
They told her to go to take our daughter to the doctor, which she did not do. I filed again, and the judge told me to take her to the doctor then, which I have the transcripts for. And after that, she failed to give our daughter her medicine. And at which point, custody was switched over to Friday through, it went from 2 weeks, 2 hours a day, 2 days a week, to Friday through Sunday, Tuesday and Wednesday with me. And it was like that for 3 years. And during that
Why
time,
wouldn't anybody give her medicine?
I don't know why she wasn't giving
Somebody
her
had to
medicine.
tell you something.
Yeah,
When you say, why won't you give our daughter her medicine? She had to say something.
she always says I'm giving it to her.
Okay.
And so during that 3 years,
Find the transcript as I asked her where the judge admonished her about medicine. I want to see where the judge believed that. Let me hear from you, ma'am.
2009, we met. I got pregnant with this baby. He asked me for an abortion, and I said no. I shortly after moved back with my parents. I invited him to the hospital when Ella was born. He denied signing any paperwork for her and left. He went to his home that night. He was arrested for intent to sell, child endangerment, and after that, I was on state aid. The state went after him for child support, and that's when he turned it into a custody case. And that was when she was 2 years old. He didn't want anything to do with her before
So he's
that.
making up all this about medicine.
That's most current. He's been calling CPS on me multiple times, making false allegations that I'm not administering medication. And it's been through CPS. We just went to court last week where they told him he was being abusive by even doing this to me and bringing me back to court over false allegations. CPS has thoroughly investigated both my home and everything that's going on and came out with no medical neglect on my part. And he has drugged me through court. He has harassed me. He's publicly shamed me on Facebook.
This is your counterclaim.
Yes. He's I'm sorry, he's a
Well,
liar.
Let me tell you what let me read what the
Okay,
judge said to
totally.
you. Judge says to you, after you start talking about harassment, the judge says, stop. I'm not going to be looking at the text messages today. You wanted to see text between the two of you.
From
Judge
Robert.
don't care about that. Judge care about that baby. What I'm indicating to you today is based on what you told me. I made the appointment and I didn't tell Dad. If that continues, this is the judge admonishing you, I'm going to be giving Dad sole legal, sole physical over the issue of the health care because you're failing to co-parent.
There's never been any findings of medical neglect.
Okay, but the judge believed it.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
good
in
enough.
this last, 4 years it's been, and he's drugged me through CPS, and there's been no findings of me medically neglecting my daughter.
All right.
Actually, in December of 2015, she was detained from her dad because of his
You
living
have that?
conditions. Absolutely, I do.
Let's see that, where she was removed from him because of what he did.
She told me to take her to the doctor then, which I have the transcripts for. And after that, she failed to give our daughter her medicine.
Defendant Felicia Stalder has a daughter with the plaintiff, and he claims he called Child Protective Services on Felicia because she was failing to give their child her medication.
Sir, was the child removed from you?
Yes, Your Honor.
He
What'd
was.
you do?
I told the Child Protective Services that they're incompetent idiots and that they're condoning child abuse.
Had to get it removed. You know, when they're dealing with that, they're the judges, quite frankly. Until you get to the actual judge, those folks are the judges, and you got to talk to them right.
Your Honor, I also have...
They have the power over you. Like folks coming here, they need to know I'm the judge. I make decisions. Got to talk to me right. Go ahead. What else you wanted to tell me?
I wanted to let you see all the doctor's notes from Ella's primary doctor.
Let's
where-
see.
Well, this is,
Hold on.
Right there.
that doesn't say she's been,
I'm
I
sorry.
don't have the paperwork.
What is this?
That's from our last court date, stating that Ella is perfectly fine in my care.
Okay. Let's see what you have.
Right here.
Sounds like essentially this is saying you cleaned up your act. Whatever it was you did in the past, you
I
cleaned it up.
administer all medication to my daughter. I have 3 daughters in there.
All right, ma'am, let's not go back over that. I just read it in the transcript where the judge said you were not co-parenting properly regarding the health care
I
issue.
have.
I understand, ma'am. We're
That's
not going
not
to go back
correct.
over that.
That's not correct.
I'm going to believe this judge and his testimony. All right?
Okay.
Yeah, thank you. Because here's a doctor that says Ella has a diagnosis of asthma. Both parents came in for Ella's physical on March 18th. Mother stated that she has had some confusion as to which inhaler is patient's because there is another resident of the home that uses one. However, MD called the pharmacy. The mother requested that the inhaler be sent, and as of yet, the prescription has not been picked up.
No, that's
No.
what is that? Like from 2000?
Whenever
Those
it
are all
was,
false
ma'am, you denied all
Those
of
are all
this.
false
What are your attorney say? I
allegations.
got you, ma'am. The
They're all
doctor
false
is making this
allegations.
analysis. Pardon me?
They're all false allegations against
All right,
me.
go ahead, sir. What are your attorney fees for?
I have had $6,500 in attorney fees over the last couple years.
For what?
For taking me to court.
For going to court, because if she would administer the medicine properly, we would have never had to go to court. However, I fear for my daughter's life, and the doctor is telling me that this is very serious. So I went to court because Felicia would say that she's always giving the medicine, but as you can clearly see, the medical professional...
The doctor did
confirmed
say that, and the court said it, ma'am,
No,
despite your protest.
no.
Judgment for the plaintiff. Your counterclaim is dismissed. Have a good day.
Hopefully she can start being a good parent and stop
Hopefully
lying.
You stop harassing me.
I
And
haven't
stop
been
calling me
harassing you.
psycho.
I'm not
Don't
harassing.
talk to me. I'm done. I'm
Then
done.
give our daughter medicine.
Sorry. She gets her medicine every
Obviously
single
not.
day.
The judge in family court is going to be able to see
The
that
judge in family
we're not
court didn't
making this
even-
up. And he will actually look at the evidence instead of just
Throwing it out on her word.
my pictures
You're not
don't
even
lie.
her mom.